Take two. And not due to profanity. I bought this clock. And I'm a horologist by trade. I'm a master watchmaker. And I'm also a clockmaker, clocksmith. Some might call me a tinkerer. I purchased this clock. It came from United Kingdom. Before they went into receivership, as they call it, they went OOB, out of business. Handmade. I'm not going to get into the details too much of it. I'm not going to bore you. Kind of a special clock. Celestial in its nature. Think planets. And I pored over this clock. My former wife, Cindy, will attest to that. I pored over this clock. And by that I mean totally OCD'd it. Just scrutinized, just looked at it. I would just sit there and look at it for, if you listen to her, probably days on end, who knows. So I'm kind of OCD. Yeah. I like to find, and I like to find fault. I like to nitpick. I like to poke at you. I am guilty of that. On occasion, I will. Whether I think it good, whatever, I will. Guilty. I'll pick. So, tonight, as I'm walking around my command center here, the bridge of the USS, we'll have to come up with a name for it. USS Landlubber. Don't know. So, and I've been asking God. I have a belief in a God, and I believe I have a relationship. It could all be in my mind. It could all be, self-generated, hallucinating, whatever. That's fine. So I'm walking around the kitchen and the thought came to me. The thought came to me. It wasn't words. It wasn't a feeling. The thought came to me. This is why you find fault with this. And I thought the thought, and I turned to the God of my understanding, and I said, you impart to me. Thank you. One of the tenets of AA and other good fellowships, I think, is know thyself. Know yourself. That's important. That will help you not be, that could tend to help you be able to diagnose situations that come up in front of you more effectively. How's that? And now I have been asking the God of my understanding as of late to be with me, I wish to know him, the Creator, more intimately. And I have been endeavoring to do this. And I have found that that which I call the Holy Ghost, of course, you know my love name for him if you've been listening, the foot soldier of God, will come to me. I give names to things that I love. And I realized that the thought was not my own. I believed it to be not my own. How's that? I believed it to be. And I sat down in the chair, and I didn't want to break contact, so I immediately turned and looked, upper left, where I look, because my discs in my neck, it helps me. I killed 2 birds. I stretch my neck and I talk to God. And I didn't wish to break, because I felt that in that moment we were communing, we were close. And so I, reached out and grabbed a hold of Daddy. Said, whoa, 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 don't go anywhere. I want to know more. And I sat down in the chair and I began to think about that first thing I told you about that I purchased, that I was obviously very, very enamored with, to the point of obsession. Now, this thought, I want you to just hold that. Over the years of my life, I never had children. And so we never had children. We tried. We just put not in our cards. And so we both worked really hard, and we did. We both worked really hard. We worked our butts off. And, we paid everything off. To the point of where there was, some left over. Some left over. My midlife crisis was muscle cars. And it's kind of remained with me, I've been known to, yeah. So I sat down in the chair asking the ghost to remain with me, stay with me, and teach me more. And I began to look into my mind and look back at, I'm going to sound like a complete out of touch with reality person. I'm going to sound like I'm a prick. I come from the streets. I've awoken in gutters. Literally. Okay? So for the last 35 years or so, because of the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous, I was able to remain sober, and I worked my butt off. I worked like a dog. I've had my own business. So don't think I don't understand you. I've scored dope in places worse than where you're living. Wherever it is that you're living, I've scored dope in worse places. Okay? So, and I began to think back about some of these automobiles that I'd purchased and the high that it gave me. And I began to weigh the assets and the debits, or what do you call it, the positives and the negatives of each purchase. I purchased a few. over a lot of years, okay? Over years, okay? Some years, a few years, okay? I'm a drug addict, man. If one is good, 4 is better. And even though I'm not using it at the time, I'm not using anything but caffeine and nicotine, I'm like, ah! And so I might have gotten a little carried away, the OCD and, obsessive compulsiveness, that high that these cars gave me, that acceleration. Three of them. Well, if you count the race car, 4, but whatever. I still have them. All 3. Because I needed one from each American muscle car manufacturer. Even though it's not that way anymore, but from my childhood mind. I needed one from the big 3, one of each. Thank God that Camaro, that fat pig Camaro wasn't out, thank God. I started with a GM product, a GTO, whatever, a Monaro. It's Holden. It's GM down under. Okay, now sorry, too much information. And then just boom, 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 and I bought 2 or 3 cars in a row, and never had really any regrets, except maybe a very expensive, I call them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, PBJs. Yeah, that speeding ticket, that was, probation before judgment. I made a donation to that La Plata County Courthouse fountain cleanup detail, swimming pool, whatever you want to call it. I put some money in that church. Okay, that church of man. Hey kids, it's money. It's what makes the world go round. I'm not saying anything illegal. I struck a bargain with the judge. Remember, I've talked in other tracks. God is a judge. He can be bargained with. He desires it. If you're his child, if you've pledged allegiance to him in your love and your heart, and you've put him first in your life, he expects you to flirt with him, to tempt him lovingly, to interact, to have intercourse, dialogue. He's a living God. She, it, whatever, pick one, I'm transparency. I'm just using that pronoun, he. We don't even know what it is. Well, for those of you that have been listening along, you'll know that I bought another vehicle. But I believe it was a gift from the God of my understanding. A retirement gift. I'm 59. My 50s have sucked. Absolutely blown ass. Blown fucking ass. Sorry, Jared. And I'm tired of do the right thing. Spike Lee, well, I'm tired of it. After a decade of it. Trying to do the next right thing and screwing up. Guilty. Screwing up left and right. But always trying to serve God. Always trying to keep myself in line with God. Always trying. And I began to look at this automobile that he bought me. And over the last, couple of days or so, I initially had a rejection to it, and I'll get to why in a second. And then over the last couple of days, I've been going back to it, and I've been picking, nitpicking at it. The G03 I bought before it, when little Johnny was little Johnny was on a high. If you want me to be honest, because a drug comes in many different forms. Folks, it's not just chemically. Besides, never mind the fact that your brain's pumping them out. When you hit the gas in that GTO, and it launches your head back in that headrest, and you're struggling to hit third gear because it's so far away now. Yeah, that's kind of that blood pressure. You've had your medicine. I'm reliving it. Oh my God, the first time I drove it. And then I turned it into a Frankenstein. It's a lot faster now. I've got an electrical problem in it somewhere. But I think I've solved it. Huh. No help from anybody else. No. That's the short in here. That's the short in here. Belt dressing and you. I'm just being a total dork in that because I'm sending it to my wingman. One time I put belt dressing on one. It was either the Serpentine, one of the belts, okay, on the engine. I sort of put a conditioner on it, okay. Well, when my wingman saw that, now he's the one that supercharged this GTO. He's like, John, I went up to the shop. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. It was quiet. I'd already taped the drill bit. I piloted it, and I began to drill your harmonic damper. For anybody out there that's listening to this, it's a gearhead. If you have any friends that are a gearhead, you can tell them about the track, whatever. Remember, I don't ask for, don't share, you don't have to like, you don't do nothing with my stuff. But if you have any gearhead friends or you're a gearhead, you know what I'm talking about. He's like, and I began to drill. And so, yeah, I guess he was a little disappointed with me when I put belt dressing on the belt. He says to me, he goes, and why did you put belt dressing on the belt? And I looked at my wingman, and I get he wasn't my full wingman at that point, but we were getting tight fast. Because I'm in love with this man. I can't help. I'm in love with his soul. And so, yeah, he can wrap me around his finger. Oh, and let me tell you, he has bent me over. You want to talk about taking advantage of me? Like an older brother, like a younger brother taking advantage of it, because I would be the older brother. Hello. And do I just sit there and say, yeah, thank you, sir, may I please have another? While I've got a towel in my mouth and I'm biting down on it, okay? Oh, that boy. I love him. So he says to me, he goes, why did you put belt dressing on the belt? And I said, I don't know. Maybe make it go faster or something. And he never really looked at me again. He never made eye contact. And I never put belt dressing on any of the belts of any of my cars ever again. See, I began to look at this car that God bought me for my retirement gift. I've been picking at it the last few days. And tonight I have to believe that the ghost came to me and said, you're picking at that because it's a gift from someone else. And the ghost didn't have to say this because I can. I will finish it for the ghost. ... And why should you be happy? Now, you couple this, and if you got shrink friends, you definitely want to turn them on to this track, because here we go. God, I do love the depths. It is said that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. I cannot quote. Forgive me, listeners, my 16 listeners. Maybe we have a 17th by now. That'll be Neon Dion, remember? But he's fifth in line for the horses. Don't forget that. And we're gonna try and bump his ass down further. Don't worry. We'll find better. We'll find better people than Neon Dion. It's gonna be hard to do that, because I heard this man is like a seriously timed philanthropist, giving back to his communities. So it's gonna be hard, but we'll work on it. Don't worry. I'm gonna try and knock that man off 5th place. Get him down to 6th. Ooh, okay. I could do it with Dr. Okay, I'll save that. So yeah. So I began to sit down in the chair and think about the vehicles that I thought I had bought for myself and how they're splendid. And I really can't find fault in any of them. But I look out in my mind's eye right now, I look out to the garage where this latest vehicle is that I believe that God bought me as a retirement gift that I'm so smitten with because he remembers me. And now I begin to nitpick at it because I don't deserve to be loved. There it is. And with my OCD, it is easy to nitpick. There it is. Yeah, it is said that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. I believe that.